Yes, good afternoon. I am the director from Korea Creative Content Agency, and my name is Lee Yang-hwan. Nice to meet you. President Joe prepared this material, but due to another conflicting commitment, he was not able to join us today, so I am going to give the presentation on his behalf. I reviewed the presentation material, so I know the contents of this material. So I will be making the presentation. First, I would like to start by saying that I am very pleased to be part of this World Ocean Forum and to be given this opportunity to talk about this interesting topic of pirates. Well, I asked Mr. Cho what the topic of the presentation was, and I was told that the topic should be on pirates in cultural contents. And I thought this session, which is a very fun session, the session is on Asian pirates, and as I am from a contents agency, I wanted to talk from the perspective of contents. But unfortunately, in Asia, there is not many cases of success when it comes to pirate-related contents. But still, I want to talk about how the image of pirates changed in Asia and how this image of pirates can be connected with cultural contents. This is the famous flag of a pirate called Jolly Roger. This is a flag of pirates used by actual pirates. Today's topic is pirates, and I wanted to talk about the definition of pirates. As you know, pirate is a robber on the sea. So we can think of the negative image of pirates first. In the dictionary, it says a pirate is a person who attacks and robs other ships at sea. This is the definition in the Great Dictionary of Korean. So in ancient Chinese language, the two letters to express pirate mean ocean and thief. And piracy or pirate has a double meaning. So it also means illegal infringement of copyrights. So the word piracy is used in these two ways. Regarding the infringement of copyrights, let me briefly mention the current status in Korea. Korea is known for its advanced ICT technology, but at the same time, we have this challenge of IP rights infringement. The cost of illegal piracy in the Korean webtoon market amounts to 320 billion won, or 49.7% of the industry's total revenue in 2019. So the problem is serious. And more than 70% of webtoon authors experience illegal distribution of their content. So this is one of the negative side effects or negative image of pirates. And I also want to mention the Samho jewelry ship accident, which was related to the Somali pirates. This has been known as the Operation Dawn of the Gulf of Aden in Korea, and Captain Seok was kidnapped by Somali pirates back then, and Professor Lee Guk-jong came into the picture, rescuing Captain Seok. So I wanted to briefly mention about these incidents, which are quite well known in Korea, which are related to pirates. Then How are pirates portrayed in our cultural contents? I've been looking into some relevant content and materials and found an interesting content. In the ancient Greek era, there it was a saying that when the counterpart is weaker than you can rob that person. So sometimes pirates can rob other people if the counterpart is weaker than them. You might know the story of Odysseus, who is a legendary hero in the Homer's epic poem of the Odyssey. But in his return to his home country, he attacks and invades a particular region, and he slaughters every person back in that region except for one person. And even though Odysseus is portrayed as a hero in general, he is also portrayed as a robber like this. And according to a column written by a professor of Seoul National University, Odysseus is one of the most influential Greek champions during the Trojan War. But a series of piracy the Greek committed in small Asia may have been described as the Trojan War, he said. So in the classics and human history, pirate can be a hero or a thief, depending on how we view it. So there were these conflicting images of pirates. But still, pirates were used frequently in legends and classic stories. When we think of pirates in cultural contents, we can easily think of the image of Vikings. In Northern Europe and in Russia and in Western Europe, Vikings actually are known as people who changed history. And they are also regarded as a brave warrior with a challenge-loving spirit. On the left-hand side of the slide, you can see Vikings' long ship. Sometimes Vikings not only stole goods, but Vikings also established nations when they settled in a particular region. On the right-hand side, you can see the picture of King Harold Blattend, and this king united the Scandinavian region. And you might know the word Bluetooth, and the word Bluetooth comes from this king's name. So Bluetooth was named Bluetooth because the company who invented Bluetooth wanted to come up with a secure means of exchanging wireless data among several different devices, just as this king united the Scandinavian region. And also, the Rus people, descendants of Vikings, conquered Russia, and hence the name Russia came into existence. So going beyond this image as a criminal or robber, Vikings are also portrayed as a brave warrior in these cultural contents. You might know this Netflix TV series titled Vikings, and Assassin's Creed Valhalla is another game that portrays the image of Vikings. So in many movies and cultural contents, Vikings are described as a loyal and courageous and pioneering warrior. And a free and pioneering image is made as the contents are reproduced in multiple channels. This is the picture of the Viking facility located in Wormi Island in Korea. When you Google Viking in Korean, you will face this image of this Viking facility. Well, the movie Pirates of the Caribbean reaped the revenue of 5.3 trillion won. Even though the Pirates of the Caribbean was not in Korean, I think the image of Jack Sparrow and his colleagues became the symbol of pirates in Korea also. And you might also know the Japanese animation One Piece. And this animation One Piece were used more than 1,000 times a month in October 2021, and more than 470 million copies of this animation were sold. This is a fantasy-based animation centering on the story of a pirate. Now, what about cultural contents created from Korea? The session's topic is about Asian pirates, but we can't find many cultural contents that use the pirate character. In a Korean movie called Typhoon, starring Chang Dong-gon, Chang Dong-gon is a pirate, and there are other movies as well, such as The Pirates, and also there is the Pirates of the Caribbean game, the game version of the Pirates of the Caribbean. And also the Emperor of the Sea. So in Korea, the image of pirates were a little bit different from the images of pirates in the Western world. In cultural contents, negative image was strong when it comes to the image of pirates. However, in the 19th century, the image of pirates started to shift into a more positive direction. In the 19th century, Westerners started to recognize that the fight between pirates in search of a hidden treasure was a thing of the past, and nostalgia from the past lost because of modernization romanticized the image of pirates. So, starting from the 19th century, we see many romanticized stories about pirates. The anarchy of pirates is a means of responding to injustice, and the violence is a means of protecting honor. And the second case is a story where theft and robbery are romanticized. A good example could be Robin Hood and Im Gok-jong in Korean. As a person working at a content agency, I think content and media played the largest role in breaking away from the negative image of pirates and transitioning the negative image of pirates into a more positive image. In a movie titled The Pirates, there is a saying that goes, "Look, the sea feeds us, not the government, and we own the sea." So this is how the ocean is portrayed as a space free from worldly orders and laws. So inevitably, piracy and the ocean are very attractive topics that can be used in cultural contents. And contents are produced harnessing the power of imagination and emotions, and that is why this topic of pirates is appealing to many people. But I think This is also linked to the challenge-loving spirit and the creative spirit.
정도의 의지를 이런 생각을 지금 콘텐츠가 처음 든 건 아니고요. 콘텐츠마켓
The
배틀 이런
content
행사를
industry
벌였는데
has
이런
been using the
순간에
image of pirates. For example,
특히
when Apple was competing with IBM, Steve Jobs of Apple once told his team developing Macintosh to be a pirate than the Navy. And the Apple's Macintosh team created this image of the pirate flag and used it to emphasize the importance of creativity within its team.
이어받고 있는 것처럼 보입니다.
So it seems like the cultural content industry in Korea also has that kind of spirit.
사실 이거 나갔던 거 잘 알고
You
계시죠?
might all know that the movie Parasite received multiple awards from global film festivals. It was the second film to win both the Palme d'Or from Cannes and the Oscars award. And it was a moment when the conservatism centered on American white male broke apart. And I think I should mention the Squid Game. The Squid Game has become very popular because of its novelty and creativity. A lot of people are now enjoying this Netflix TV series, and the Le Monde, the daily newspaper of France, once reported that the Squid Game makes viewers become immersed in the horror with a touch of creepy humor and originality, but the contents itself are uniquely Korean. And the creativity of human beings and the cultural contents, the topic itself, are very powerful other than the amount of investment made, and I think Squid Game is a good example of that. Other than the two examples, the Parasite and the Squid Game, I think there is another power that cultural contents can have. It can have a positive power spreading the good across the society. You might remember the UN address by a famous Korean band, BTS. BTS at the UN speech said that we are a generation that walks forward rather than being feared by change, naming the current young generation as Welcome Generation. And BTS also became an ambassador of UNICEF. So Korean cultural contents are thriving in the global content market as if they were born with this challenge-loving spirit and creativity embodied in the image of pirates. So I think there are some resemblance between the Korean cultural contents and the image of pirates. I want to quote from 백범 일지, or Diary of Kim Gu. Kim Gu once said something like this: I want our nation to be the most beautiful in the world. By this, I do not mean the most powerful nation. The only thing that I desire in infinite quantity is the power of a noble culture that gives happiness to others. So in the global market, the contents of Korea went through a history of challenging. Korea's assets that is most similar to the image of the pirates is contents. And I would like to conclude my presentation with this final note. Korea Contents Creative Content Agency is engaged in multiple areas like this in broadcasting, game, music, and other areas. And we are also committed to nurturing talents in these different areas. And together with a challenge-loving spirit like a pirate, we are going to contribute to the development of the cultural contents industry in Korea and also the evolution of the industry. Thank you very much for listening to my presentation.